Hello, everybody. This is Brian with Vermillion Enterprises. It is November 6, 2025. It is Thursday. Weather's beautiful here in Central Florida, and business is super brisk. That is for sure. What is going on in the shop? Well, Florida got hit with their real estate tax bills yesterday. We got ours. Probably I'd say 5, maybe 6 customers came in yesterday, sold precious metals to cover their real estate bills. I think that's smart. It's better than going in debt to pay an obligation that you know is coming anyways. Metals should be up for them, so they use that to cover their costs on the real estate tax. I think that's a good play, especially with the economic news that came out yesterday across my feed at least, and regarding household debt. America, we have got to wake up with regards to debt. Debt is the enemy of the middle class. If you're in the top 2 or 3% financially in the world, fine. Debt is a great tool to use to avoid paying taxes. But if you're in the middle class or lower, debt is an anchor that keeps you from economic freedom. You've got to shed the debt. Here is what came across the feed yesterday. This is household debt. This isn't government debt. This is household debt, folks. Reached $18 trillion in the third quarter of 2025. $18.6 trillion. That's credit card debt, which is the absolute worst. That's what's also known as revolving debt. That's mortgage debt. That's auto loans. That's student loans. $18.6 trillion. That went up $197 billion in the third quarter of 2025. So just to run the numbers for you so you can kind of see it. Mortgage debt is $13 trillion. Auto loan debt's $1.66 trillion. Student loan debt's basically the same, $1.65 trillion. And then credit card debt, which is the absolute worst, that's called revolving debt, has typically the highest interest rates, is $1.23 trillion. All right, debt is the enemy, folks, and we got to figure out a way to get away from that as a country. Obviously, not, and I know largely I'm speaking to the choir here. We've had terrible leadership in Washington over the last 40 years with regards to how to manage debt. Obviously, what's the national debt at? Something like $38 trillion, somewhere in that ballpark. So obviously, our political leaders are not leading by example. So we really have to take up the reins ourselves and shed ourselves of debt. It is the enemy, folks. Debt is bad, okay? All right. That is me on my soapbox. I read that last night and my jaw hit the floor. I was like, my God. $1.23 trillion in credit card debt. All you're doing is making the bankers rich by having credit card debt, folks. That's it. That's all you're doing is making the bankers rich. And we're going right into the holiday season, so you know what that means. People are going to be spending more money. But if you got credit card debt, also known as revolving debt, I mean, my advice is, guys and gals, get away from that as fast as you can. Get rid of that. Do whatever you can financially to get rid of that credit card debt. That is the enemy. Folks, I'm a fairly affluent guy in the scheme of things. And I'm driving seriously, my daily driver is a 2000 Chevy Z71. It has 216,000 miles on it. Love that truck. I paid $6,000 for it. That's it. And it's got a rebuilt transmission on it. Just last year, we rebuilt the transmission on another one of our cars that's paid off. It's, debt is the absolute enemy, folks. If you do whatever you can to get away from it. Just because you have money, you have some disposable income, doesn't mean you need to go out and buy that new $80,000, $90,000 toy and finance it. All right, do whatever you can to get away from debt. It is the enemy. If you have revolving debt and you own precious metals, sell your precious metals, get rid of the revolving debt. It's one thing to have a mortgage or auto loan where you're paying 3 to 7%. Okay, we can digest that. But these revolving debt, $1.23 trillion. and you're paying probably what, 14 to 20% on that. That's a killer, folks. That is hard to get out from underneath of. That's tough. I about puked when I read these numbers last night. America, we got to do better if we're going to continue on as the great country we are. All right, that's Uncle Brian getting off of his soapbox. So I had to discuss that. I could not believe those numbers. They're just astronomical to me. And we obviously have not been fiscally responsible in Washington for my entire lifetime, which is just over 40 years. And obviously Washington's more interested in being reelected rather than being fiscally conservative, being fiscally responsible. And unfortunately, that's not going to change. But that doesn't mean that we can't change ourselves here just individually. We don't have to take the torch from the Washington political just nightmares, I'll call them, all of them. And it's not a Democrat thing. It's not a Republican thing. It's just that Washington is in the mindset of being reelected, not for doing what is best economically for the country, but we can do what's best economically for us. So please think about that. Get out of debt if you can. All right. I mean, if you're in the top 2 or 3%, good, great. You can use it as a tool. But if not, it's just a detriment. All right, that's me off of my soapbox for today. I hate debt. Debt is one of my, I just hate it. I hate it. All right, so let's talk premiums. Let's get away from that. And let's just talk premiums and inventory update. Material's moving. It's moving good back and forth across the counter. So we're selling. We're definitely buying more than we're selling. And we do have a premium reduction due to that. We took in a lot of 999 silver yesterday, a lot of junk 90. So we're going to talk about that. And we have one price reduction, one premium reduction. And that is on 999 silver. So we'll go over that. What is gold? Gold and silver picked up a little bit over the night. Gold's at 4,010 right now, and silver is at $48.60 right now. It is in the AM, November 6, 2025. So will those gains retract as the day goes on? I don't know. We'll find out. Time will tell. And we'll see what the weekend brings. But until then, we definitely have some things to go over here. And let's do it. All right, guys and gals. We'll start off with gold, as we always do. All right, foreign gold, guys. I don't have any to show you because I sent it to the refinery last night on our way out of the shop. So what are we talking about here? We pay 98% on gold maple leaves, Krugerrands, Philharmonics, Britannias, Kangaroos, Australian nuggets, any of that type of material. 98% of spot on 1 ounces, 98% of melt on the fractional components, 98% on bars, 98% on pre-33 gold. And that, when I say 98%, that's 98% of melt. And then 98% of melt on the $5 and $10 gold commemorative coins. All right, fractional gold eagles. We got tenths. We got quite a few tenths in the shop now. We're paying melt plus 5% for those, selling them at melt plus 8. They are super hot right now. Get them while you can. We did get some 1/4 ounce gold eagles in last night. We just didn't get them processed yet, ready for sale, but we do have a handful of those. We buy 1/4 ounce gold eagles at melt plus 3%, sell at melt plus 6. And then 1/2 ounce gold eagles I am out of, but we do buy these at the melt price of gold currently. 1 ounce gold eagles, we do have quite a few of these in the shop. If you're interested, we buy these at spot and we sell them at spot plus 3%. All right, and gold buffaloes, we buy these at the spot price of gold plus 1% and sell at the spot price of gold plus 4%. Just got a couple in the shop. Nothing in the way of quantity with regards to gold buffaloes. All right. We do have some MS61, 62, 63 Saints and some $20 libs, I believe. We do sell these at the melt price of gold plus 3% if you are interested. These are just common date 61, 62, 63s. Melt plus 3%. I am out of platinum at the moment, but we are buying 1 ounce platinum eagles at the spot price of platinum plus $80 per ounce. And when we get them, we sell them at plus 120. All right, cool silver dollars. These are hot. We buy them at 35 and sell them at 38. These are not our best seller, but definitely people buy a ton of these. So we're talking about common date, Cole, Morgan, and Peace silver dollars. They are random date. They are random designs, so please don't ask for specific dates or designs. They come in randomly. They go out randomly, folks. We buy them at 35, sell them at 38. All right, and junk 90. We buy these, we buy junk 90 at spot minus $4 per ounce, and we sell it at spot minus $2 per ounce. That's for 1964 and before silver dimes, quarters, and half dollars. Got hit hard on halves yesterday. We still have some, but we got a bunch of dimes and quarters if you're interested in junk 90. All right, dimes, quarters, and halves, 1964 and before. We buy them at spot minus 4, sell them at spot minus 2. All right, 40% silver. You're talking 1965 to 1970 Kennedy half dollars. We buy these at spot minus $6 per ounce, and we sell them at spot minus $4 per ounce. What you see in the bucket is what I have in the shop. Not much in the way of quantity. That stuff's actually moving pretty fast, which is nice. All right, here's our one premium reduction. We are now buying generic 999 silver at spot minus $2 per ounce. Let me get this out of the way. And selling it at spot minus 50 cents per ounce. That's for generic 999 silver. What are we talking about? We're talking about 1 ounce rounds, 1 ounce bars, 5 ounce bars, 10 ounce bars, kilos, and 100 ounce bars. I am out of kilos. I got one lonely 100 ounce bar there, as you can see. A bunch of rounds, some 1 ounce bars, some 5 ounce bars, and a good chunk of 10 ounce bars. So we're buying generic silver at spot minus $2 per ounce and selling it at spot minus 50 cents per ounce. Minus 50 cents per ounce. So you get 999 silver under spot, folks. All right, Silver Eagles. We're buying off-quality Silver Eagles at the spot price of silver and selling them at the spot price of silver plus $1 per ounce. These are definitely, Silver Eagles are my #1 bestseller. Probably in competition with Junk 90. So Junk 90 and Silver Eagles for silver are definitely our #1 sellers. Off-quality Silver Eagles are coins that have milk spots on them, random dates, and they have surface abrasions on them, could be colorized. Toning, overtoning, scruffiness in nature. This material we do not consider retail friendly. If you are looking for retail friendly Silver Eagles, we do have those. We buy them at the spot price of silver plus $3 per ounce. This is for solid date tubes of retail friendly American Silver Eagles. So that means that each coin in the tube will have the exact same date. There will be no milk spots on them, no surface abrasions. They won't be colorized or anything like that. Solid date tubes of 20, we buy them at spot plus 3, sell them at spot plus 5. If you bring in tubes to sell and we start going through them and we see milk spots on them, they will be kicked off to our off-quality price point, which we buy them at spot. It's just the way it is, folks. All right, what are we not buying? We are still not buying sterling silver. We are not buying world alloyed silver or war nickels until the refineries come back online and start wanting to buy this material themselves. We are not buying it, unfortunately. It's just a sign of the times, folks. The refineries just they basically got broken with this alloyed silver, and they're having a hard time getting back online. But as soon as they do, and as soon as they start accepting material from us again, we will we'll start buying it again. But until then, we can't. All right, payment. How do we accept payment? Well, cash is #1. We also accept wire, Zelle, and scrap gold, which we pay at 90% of its value. And checks. We take checks up to $7,500 in value with an up to 2-week hold. We do that just to make sure the check's securely clear. All right, what are we talking about with scrap gold? We're talking about the old gold jewelry that's laying in the bottom of your jewelry box. The old 10 karat, 14, 18, 22, 8 karat, 9 karat, all that jewelry that's just sitting in the bottom of the jewelry box. We will either cash you out at 90% of its value, and when gold's at $4,000 an ounce, folks, it adds up pretty quick. Or you can use that towards the purchase of stackable precious metals, which we'll do at 90% of its value for you. So if you got old class rings, chains, earrings, old wedding bands, anything that's just broken, you can't wear it, you don't wear it anymore, you don't like it, too much baby mama drama with it, you want to get rid of it, we will turn that into cash money for you at 90% of its value. And what determines the value? Well, the weight of it, the purity of the metal, and then also whatever the price of gold is at the time of the transaction. All right, so yeah, that stuff adds up fast for you, folks. And shipping, what is our shipping policy? Well, we have a $3,000 minimum shipping order. Also, if you'd like to place an order or have general questions, please reach out to info@igscoin.com. The phones are not a great way to get a hold of us. It's just when business is brisk, we just basically turn them off because there's just too much going on at the shop at the time. We do ship via FedEx to your local FedEx ship center only, not to the Walgreens or the Dollar Generals that accept packages, not to residential or business addresses that are not your local FedEx ship center. It's just the only way we can securely ship at this time. All right, folks, it is November 6, 2025. We're here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon. Oh, someone asked me yesterday, hey, are you going to do a flash sale this Saturday? I really hadn't thought about it until he said something. I was like, well, do I have anything that I would really like to sell at a discounted rate? And I was like, you know what? I do. So I think we are going to do a flash sale on Saturday and see how that goes. So guys and gals, get your cash ready. Flash sale Saturday live in the shop. All right, you guys have a great day. We'll be in touch. Thank you.